Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Age channel. Russian promoter Vladimir Hryunov believes that the WBA, WBO and IBF World Heavyweight Champion Alexander Usyk agreed to a rematch with Anthony Joshua in vain. Business relations have been preserved, and the rest is everyone's personal business. But I think this is a very significant factor that will greatly affect the form of Alexander Usyk. I don't know what led him to the decision to hold this fight, but I probably had to wait. Of course, I will be rooting for Usyk. He is a very respected athlete in person. Joshua will be physically stronger. I think he is using what is his chance, superiority in physical form. It will be much more accurate, and I think these combinations will appear that will begin to cut off Usyk from being able to shift. Maybe the coaches will add something. Obviously, it will be a more powerful Anthony Joshua, said Vladimir Hryunov. Former European champion and current boxing columnist Spencer Oliver suggested that British heavyweight Anthony Joshua, on the eve of a rematch with the Ukrainian Alexander Usyk, would do well to use a primitive but well-lit plan for the fight of compatriot Derek Chisora. Usyk spent the last two fights at this point in London, England. First defeated Chisora, then took the WBA Super, IBF and WBO belts from Joshua. Interestingly, Chisora's obvious underdog offered a more worthy resistance to the Ukrainian in comparison with his star compatriot. Usyk and Joshua are expected to have a rematch this summer. Oliver argues, Chisora showed an effective plan for this fight. He showed how you can beat Usyk. It's simple. He constantly exerted pressure, didn't let go, but on power, weight and size advantage. At some point, Usyk even felt stuffy in the ring. Joshua should work in the same way, but not so rough and sweeping. He is more explosive compared to Chisora, and his punches are much more effective. If everything is done correctly, then it is quite possible to beat Usyk. But I am not saying it will be easy to do. It's not like that. It's Britain now, and then they talk about Joshua's future prospects. For example, in case of repeated defeat to the Ukrainian, Oliver's opinion, he really drove himself into a blind corner, and his career is now hanging by a thread. If he is going to continue to perform at the top level, then he is absolutely obliged to win. Yeah, there will be other options, but this is really exactly the kind of fight in which only victory is needed, Oliver said. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed and receive notifications about the release of new videos, you do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel, you are my support, thank you so much. Mandatory challenger for WBC heavyweight title Dillian Whyte broke his silence and met with reporters before the fight against WBC champion Tyson Fury, which will be held on April 23 in London at Wembley Stadium. There are a few days left. We had a good training camp, Whyte said. We have been preparing hard. We have no illusions about what I'm going to do. I'm going to be up against a big guy, and I'm going to have a tough fight. And obviously he is an undefeated champion. But I believe I can beat him. I believe in my victory, and it will be nice to shut the mouth of the skeptics. Look, you've been writing off my whole life, Whyte added. I will not tell my story, but I was constantly written off. And there is nothing new for me here. I was written off by my close ones, relatives, friends, teachers at school, neighbors, so some guy on the internet and the journalist writing nonsense about me means nothing to me. There is nothing new for me here. Whyte also commented all those without going into details, why he has just now joined the promotion of the fight, and noted that there are no personal motives and hostility in this. It's a business, Whyte said. This is not a Tyson Fury show. It's me and Tyson Fury. He boxed with Wilder, and not all the tickets were sold for any fight. This is the Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte show. We can perform together, but this is not a one-way road, Whyte said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.